on. I have to. Alright. Hi. Hello. I'm here. I was gonna, start with, a reference, a young person sits in their bedroom. It just so happens that blah, 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 blah. But I'm too frazzled. My glasses are fogged. So yeah. Hello. Welcome to Rook Reads Homestuck. My name is Rook. I'm going to be reading Homestuck. All of it. But not now. I mean, now I'm going to read some of it, but it's very long, if you didn't know. Probably should have written down what I wanted to say, quite frankly, instead of just, saying it into the mirror. So anyway, how many people do we have in the stream? 7. That's great. Hi, guys. Can someone just say something to, confirm that... Oh, because I didn't... Transition. It didn't go. Why is it not going? It should have... gone. Okay. Hello. Why does it not... Why is the preview not... I've never done a Twitch before. Or... not really. I've never done a Twitch on an OBS before. Oh, okay. The preview is just very, very, very behind. Cool. Love that for me. Which makes sense. It's always behind. When I watch other people on Twitch, it's always behind more on my computer than it is on my phone, and I never know why. But anyway. Right. Homestuck. Let me tell you about Homestuck. Christ. So Homestuck, it's a webcomic that I was very, very into for most of my adolescence, and for a long time I've been wanting to reread it. And one of the things that I really enjoyed doing when I was into Homestuck, and was also getting my friends into Homestuck, when I was into Homestuck and getting my friends into Homestuck when I was 14, 15, is that I would read Homestuck with them. I would read it out loud, and we would read the pester logs, the chat logs together, one of us taking one character, one of us taking the other. And, I was feeling a bit nostalgic, and there was, at least some number of months ago, I don't know if it's still going on, a bit of a resurgence of Homestuck. Some people were rereading it, and some people were, getting into it for the first time. And one of the things about Homestuck that made it really great was that made it, what it is the fandom. And I know you could say that for a lot of fandoms, but Homestuck was very... the fandom and the webcomic itself are sort of inextricable in the way that it exists. And I feel like if you're just reading it by yourself, there's so much context you're missing out on. And so this is not going to be a replacement for the fandom, or a simulation of, what it was like to read Homestuck in, 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, whatever. But at least, it's just nice to have someone else read it to you, and, read it with people. And also, I'm going to be talking to folks in chat, so it'll be nice to do that, to, just have some back and forth and maybe give a little context, and just, hang out and have fun and ask questions and whatnot. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I want to say. Oh yeah, before we get into it, I think, I think it's time to open up, to go to my next screen. Also, could you tell that I was, having fun with transitions? Oh, I have it open, so I can't do this. I was having fun with transitions in OBS, a la Does the comic pay homage to any pieces of literature? Yes, it does. There's a Mark Twain quote, and I'm definitely certain that Mark Twain said that. And what was I gonna say? Anyway, so Homestuck. Homestuck is this behemoth of a fucking webcomic that went on for several years. That's like, it's called a webcomic, but it's just this like weird multimedia thing that had a huge fan base that was on a website called mspaintadventures.com and is now on a website called homestuck.com, but at the time it was one of a few and one of the very few that were actually finished, because Bard Quest was definitely not finished. I don't think Jailbreak was finished either. I don't really remember, but it started out as forum games where like Andrew Hussey, the writer, would, post a panel on a forum, and then it initially started with Jailbreak. It started out as he would just the next panel would just be whatever the suggested thing that the first person said, and then eventually he used, he chose different ones of the suggestions, and then he had his own website and had a suggestion box. And by some point in Homestuck, it stopped being suggestions, but the title of pretty much each panel is a command a la old-fashioned adventure games, like text-based adventure games. So that's a piece of literature it's paying homage to, if you consider text-based adventure games literature, which, I don't know, you can. I'm not here to argue that, but you can probably argue that. And yeah, and it's deeply weird, and yeah, Homestuck. Okay, I think one more thing before we actually start reading it, or a couple more things. Right, my policy on spoilers and content warnings before I get into this. Content warnings, I am not going to give right now because I don't remember what they all are, and also most of them will not be relevant for this particular stream. But as like sort of a blanket warning, Homestuck covers a lot of different subjects, none of them delicately. It makes a joke out of almost everything, and is very much a snapshot of internet culture in the late 2000s and early 2010s, for whatever that's worth. And, has a lot of violence and just a lot of stuff going on in it. But in terms of more specific content warnings, I think what I want to do is the VODs of this are all going to go up on YouTube, and because I don't remember well enough to know like what I'm going to be encountering in each specific video, I think after I do the live stream, I will come up with a list of content warnings and put them in the description of the YouTube video. So if you're overly concerned about that, wait for the VOD to come out, and then watch the VODs and look in the description, and you will see the content warnings, because I am all about people being able to, use their own discretion and choose their own adventure vis-a-vis the content that they consume. Right, that's pretty much it. And then, in terms of spoilers, yeah, there's gonna be spoilers. I really, while this is meant to be friendly for people who have never read Homestuck before, I think it is a fool's errand to attempt to avoid spoilers in basically any way. And also, there's so much going on in Homestuck that even if there is something that was a big twist when it first came out, and it is not a big twist when you read it here. There's still enough twists that you're gonna be surprised at certain points, and also there's going to be things where it's like, if I tell you something happens now, then that's not going to make any sense, and it'll still be a big shock when it happens, you know? And I don't know. It's not about, it's not like about, oh, what events happen. It's how it happens, and how you experience it. So, yeah, I think spoiler policy is go crazy, go stupid. I don't really care. I mean, don't be a dick, I guess, in whatever capacity that means. I mean, I guess, like, don't say, oh, this happens on the next page, and, like, ruin the timing, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm very loosey-goosey on spoilers. But beyond that... Oh, yeah. One thing I want to say, I will be reading it on, as you can see, the unofficial Homestuck collection, which is a fan-made archive of Homestuck, because Homestuck uses a lot of Adobe Flash, uses a lot of, there's a lot of animations and little games and stuff in it that are unplayable, basically, on, like, the regular internet in 2022. There is the Viz Media, which bought Homestuck and made Homestuck.com instead of MS Paint Adventures. Kind of borked up that one, and they were supposed to archive it, but a lot of it is just like in crappy YouTube videos, and it's just nothing like the original experience of Homestuck, and it ruins a lot of the magic. The unofficial Homestuck collection saves a lot of the magic and also has some nice customizable features, like I made the text bigger so it should be readable for people on Twitch. And also there are mods. So I've modded Homestuck. Someone made a slur replacer mod because, like I said, it is kind of a snapshot of internet culture in the late 2000s and early 2010s. So there's a couple of, there's not that much. It's mostly the R slur, which isn't okay, but, it's in there. And so, it replaces it with words that still make sense in context, but are not slurs. So, we're not going to have to worry about that in our reading of Homestuck. So, yay. And my brother just said that John kills Dumbledore. Wow. Okay, we've got some spoilers happening. That definitely happens in Homestuck. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I can just get started. Oh, and also, as for how long these streams are going to be, I don't know. It's going to be up until I get tired. And I don't know how long that's going to be. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how much I get through today. And I have no idea how long this entire endeavor is going to take. I'm really hoping that I can get from the beginning to the end of the whole Homestuck. My dog is barking in the other room, and it is distracting me. I'm hoping that I can get through all of it, but it's probably, who knows how long that's gonna take, so we'll see. It's exciting stuff. Anyway, let's begin the adventure, shall we? I guess I'll read the little blurb they have on the unofficial Homestuck collection. A story about some kids who are friends over the internet. They decide to play a game together. There are major consequences. The fourth, final, and most famous of the MS Paint adventures. While it began as a mock game following reader commands like the previous adventures, they were phased out as the story unfolded into a mixed media barrage of mid-2000s internet culture satire, interpersonal drama, and weird plot shit. One-upping problem sleuths action-packed gifs, Homestuck spiced up pivotal moments with flash animation scored by a lively team of composers. Over time, the music team produced dozens of albums across a variety of genres. That's like basically what I just said. They put it a little nicer, but that's basically what I just said. So let's begin the adventure, shall we? Homestuck. A young man stands in his bedroom. It just so happens that today, the 13th of April, is this young man's birthday. Though it was 13 years ago he was given life, it is only today that he will be given a name. What will the name of this young man be? Enter name. Zeusmel Poop Lord. Try again, smartass. Try again. John Egbert. Yay! I love his silly little face. His little smiley face. Examine room. Your name is John. As it was previously mentioned, it is your birthday. A number of cakes are scattered about your room. You have a variety of interests. You have a passion for really terrible movies. You like to program computers, but you are not very good at it. You have a fondness for paranormal lore and are an aspiring amateur magician. You also like to play games sometimes. What will you do? John, quickly retrieve arms from drawer. Your arms are in your magic chest, Poop Lord. Remove cake from magic chest. Out of sympathy for John's perceived lack of arms, you pick up the cake for him and put it on his bed. Witty remarks, my friend Kate said, maybe if I actually get past the beginning of Act 5, if I just watch you do it, lol. Yeah, hopefully, that's like the idea. I'm hoping I get through all of this. Anyway, you pick up the cake for him and put it on the bed. Hey, you see that little cursor they've got there? That doesn't stick around for long. That's just the thing that's like there in the beginning and then is just sort of forgotten about. That sort of like meta cursor thing. Anyway, John, quickly retrieve arms from magic chest. You retrieve your fake arms from the chest. You use these for hilarious antics. You captcha-log them in your Sylladex. You have no idea what that actually means, though. There are other items in the chest. John, examine contents of chest. Ooh, just so I remember to do it, my phone just reminded me to take my meds. Did I just show off the name on my meds and what my meds are? Hopefully not. Hopefully the quality of my camera isn't good enough to do that. But just taking it now as a reminder for you. If you have any meds you need to take, do that. Anyway. The magic examine contents of chest. In here, you keep an array of humorous and mystical artifacts, each one a devastating weapon in the hands of a skilled magician or a cunning prankster. You are neither of these things. Among the artifacts are 2 fake arms, currently captcha-logged in your Sylladex, 1 pair of trick handcuffs, 1 stunt sword, 1 magician's hat, 1 pair of beagle pus glasses, several smoke pellets, several blood capsules, and 1 copy of Colonel Sassacre's daunting text of magical frivolity and practical japery, and 1 copy of Harry Anderson's Wise Guy by Mike Cavaney. Cavaney? It's not a name that's ever going to be important, so it doesn't really matter. Some of this stuff may come in handy at some point. For now, you decide to just take the smoke pellets. John, captcha-log smoke pellets. You stow the smoke pellets on one of your captcha-log cards in your Sylladex. I just realized I'm probably not showing the actual panel for long enough. But here's the panel. He's captcha-logging the smoke pellets in his Sylladex. You still aren't totally sure what that means, but you are starting to get the hang of the vernacular at least. You have 2 empty captcha-log cards remaining. John, equip fake arms. You aren't totally sure if equip is a verb copacetic with the abstract behavioral medium in which you dwell, but you give it a try anyway. Unfortunately, you cannot access the fake arms. Their card is underneath the one you just used to captcha-log the smoke pellets. You will have to use the pellets first in order to access the arms, but this is probably inadvisable since you just make your broom lousy with smoke. Your Syllodex's fetch bonus is currently dictated by the logic of a stack data structure. You were never all that great with data structures, and you find the concept puzzling and mildly irritating. But with any hope, perhaps you will advance new, more practical fetch mode for your Sylladex with a little more experience. Yeah, this makes more sense now than it did to me when it did when I was like 14, because I've taken a computer science class, so I know what a data structure like is, and I did not at the time. Also, seems like a good time as any to point out uh, that Andrew Hussey was a computer science major, so that really shows. Kate just said, "Is this where the one thing comes from? Have I been homestucking this entire time?" No, I think it's a reference. I think it's more of a thing. It probably goes back to adventure games, honestly. Although I'm not entirely sure. Um, a lot of things did originate with Homestuck. I don't think this is one of them. Um, yeah. Like early on in Homestuck, they're really leaning into this like old-fashioned video game adventure games vibe, and it does kind of lose that over time. Uh, Although it never stops being video gamey, but in just in different ways. Um, Considering it majorly revolves around a video game. John examined Problem Sleuth poster. Is it even possible to get any more hard boiled than that? You really doubt it. This poster was one of your wisest purchases. I'm pretty sure this link goes to. So, Problem Sleuth is the MS Paint adventure that directly preceded Homestuck. So, it's a meta reference. And so, this is a link to actually buy the actual poster. I'm not gonna click it. I don't know if they're still available, but they might be. Who knows? Probably not, because the link goes to the Topatoco store, and I don't think Homestuck still uses that one. Unclear. Homestuck merch is a strange beast. Anyway, there's a nice spot on the wall next to it. You've been meaning to hang another poster there soon. John, read note on drawer. Happy birthday, son. I am so proud of you. The note is rich with the aromas of fatherly aftershaves and colognes. Beside the note is a rolled-up poster. John, take poster. Another birthday artifact. You wonder what is printed on the poster. You'll need some way to hang it on your wall. John, acquire hammer and nails. They will come in handy. You first place the hammer into your Siladex, but now all of your capsula cards are full. You wonder what will happen if you try to take the nails. You guess it doesn't hurt to try. John, take nails. You capsulog four nails. Oh. Remember just said, I think it's originally from legal documents or something. That sounds correct, because I definitely saw some tweets about lawyers finding that funny or something. I don't know. There was definitely something about that being a lawyer joke or whatever. So that does make sense as being a legal documents thing. Anyway. You capsulog four nails into the top card and push all the artifacts down a card. The fake arms are pushed entirely out of the deck. Oh well, they're probably completely useless anyway, but you don't want to do that again unless you want to drop the smoke pellets and suffer the consequences. In any case, you now feel like you have gathered enough things to get down to business and do some really important stuff. The next thing you do will probably be exceptionally meaningful. John, squawk like an imbecile and shit on your desk. It is now that I remind you once again that these were suggestions from readers. This is the dumbest idea you've had in weeks! Stupid, stupid, stupid! And yet, the polished surface of your desk, it beckons. I just like the dumbest idea you've had in weeks. Like, not ever, not in months, not in years, just weeks. But I mean, to be fair, John is a 13-year-old boy. So, honestly, yeah, weeks is it's honestly surprising it's been weeks since he's had an idea this dumb. John, combine the nails and hammer. You merge the top two cards. The hammer and nails are now capsulogged on the same card, can be used together. John, Use hammer/nails on poster. Oh yeah, I probably at least should have given warning beforehand that the first several pages are just this. It's just him fucking around with his Silodex and walking around the room. I mean, it really does give the essence of, like, an adventure game or even a point-and-click, either a text-adventure game or a point-and-click adventure game where you're just, like, walking around the room, seeing all the ways you can interact with things, and it's like, can I do this? How do I do that? What if I combine this with that? Except you use data structures for some reason. You use the hammer and nails card in conjunction with the card beneath it. John, nail poster to wall. You use the hammer, nails, and poster on the blank space on the wall. It's glorious. Exactly what you wanted. The old man really came through this time. John, examine Con Air poster. Put the bunny back in the box. I said, put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box? And then there's a link to this.
Appears the United States Parole Commission that...
This is just a scene from Con Air, which,
Yeah.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I knew you was a punk, and I was right. You've been playing us all along. You a free man.
I said, put the bunny back in the box.
I forgot about the accent. There's a... And...
Couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
Anyway, so that was that. Con Air is a movie that exists. It comes up a lot in Homestuck. Oh. I've just learned that this is very loud, from the chat. Unfortunately, I didn't see that until after it stopped playing. But I might as well turn down the computer audio for future audio purposes. Well, sorry about that, folks. Is what it is, I guess. John, examine Deep Impact poster. Morgan Freeman's genteel, homespun mannerisms were the perfect qualities for a president residing over a crisis. Oceans rise, cities fall, hope survives. Wow. Films about impending apocalypse fascinate you. Plus, a black president? Now you've seen everything. Also, reminder that this was April 13th, 2009, so it was at the beginning of Obama's presidency. John, examine calendar. Oh yeah, as you can see, 13th of April. You've marked your birthday, the 13th of April. Another day you marked was supposed to be the arrival date for the highly touted SPURB beta launcher. SPURB? Are we gonna say SPURB? I think we're saying SPURB. Unfortunately, there's no just good way to say it. The highly touted SPURB beta launch. It's been 3 days already. It's starting to become a sore subject with you. So, this is a bit of a joke. That's why there's this link here. I'm not going to click it, but before, on 3 days earlier, the day that is marked for beta, Homestuck beta was launched, in which Andrew Hussey was going to do all of it using Flash, but that was too hard and it sucked. So he just did a couple of pages and then gave up and used like Photoshop. Also, even though it's called MS Paint Adventures, I should mention that none of these are made in MS Paint. I believe the first panel of Jailbreak was made in MS Paint, and after that, none of them were. But they're still called MS Paint Adventures, so go figure. John, eat cake. You are sick to death of cake! You've been eating it all day, and you have no intention of clogging your Sylladex with it either. The cake stays put for now. You hear a noise from your computer. Someone is messaging you. John, examine incoming messages. Don't think about Hamilton, don't think about Hamilton, don't think about Hamilton. Yeah, same. Although I do think that when I first heard that in Hamilton, I went, don't think about Homestuck, don't think about Homestuck, don't think about Homestuck. For those of you who don't know Hamilton for some reason, by now, I'm not judging you, I'm just curious. This is the line in one of the songs. It's like, oceans rise, empires fall, we have seen each other through it all. Yeah, whatever, it's a thing. It's like, it's a similar thing. Anyway, John's examining the incoming message. This is what his screen looks like, which you could see is similar to what my screen looks like, except I don't have this god-awful background because I wasn't going to do that to myself, but I did attempt to recreate this recreation of a Windows XP-esque, but MS Paint-ish screen, desktop. Anyway, you pull up to your computer. This is where you spend most of your time. Relatable. You decorated your desktop with some rather handsome wallpaper which you made yourself. You are really proud of it. Oh, I'm sorry, John, for insulting this thing that you're really proud of. Also, I'm looking at myself. Anyway. Your desktop is also littered with various programming project files. You are so bad at programming sometimes you wonder why you even bother with it. I also wonder why he even bothers with it, because I don't think this is ever relevant to the plot. That's the thing about writing such like a sweeping narrative that is just goes on for years and years and years. You put in a lot of like hooks and just put a lot, there's like a lot of random stuff thrown about, and some of it comes back, a lot of it comes back in ways nobody expects, but some of it's just like, oh yeah, that was a thing, and then it wasn't. Although if there's ever a thing that comes back about John programming that I don't remember, I don't know, don't at me. I mean, there's definitely things about other characters programming, and that is relevant, but I don't think, like, John ever does. But I guess that other programming stuff can be seen as kind of a parallel to this? But anyway, so actually some fun stuff about the programming. The programming languages are Carrot Cake, and that's a tilde and then ATH, so that's tilde F or tildef. It's jokes. It's just a little, punctuation humor, I guess. And also you could see, so he's got system, he's got his files, which are called poof, fuck, and and he's got Typheus, which is his web browser, as we're going to learn later, I guess. I don't think that's really obvious at the moment. And Pester Chum, which is currently bleeping. Also, instead of start, it says actuate, which I find kind of funny. Also, it is 4:13, the date, and the time is also 4:13. Anyway, John, open Pester Chum. I use Pester Chum. So you can see he's got three chums on his chum roll. Turntech Godhead, Tentacle Therapist, and Guarded Gnostic, and his chum handle is Ectobiologist. Only one of your chums is logged in. He sent you a message. John, open message. Show Pester log. Alright, now this is where I have to figure out what I'm going to be having these characters' voices be. I'm definitely going to be, just heads up, I'm definitely going to be quite influenced by all the people who, like, did voices for Homestuck characters back in the day. There was a lot of, like, Homestuck voice acting stuff. Honestly, it was kind of what made me first kind of interested in Homestuck. Not, I mean, in voice acting. Yeah, Homestuck is what got me interested in Homestuck. Fucking idiot. But yeah. I reserve the right to change my mind on what I want these characters' voices to be. And also, I mean, I'm going to at some point have, like, other people guesting on the show, on the stream. And they'll obviously be doing different voices than me, because they have different voices than me. Anyway, Turntech Godhead began pestering ectobiologist at 1613. Shouldn't have thought of this beforehand. Yeah. I did, but now I'm overthinking it, actually. Yeah. Hey, so what sort of insane loot did you rake in today? I got a little Monsters poster. It's so awesome. I'm going to watch it again today. The apple juice scene was so funny. Oh hell, that's such a coincidence. I just found an unopened container of apple juice in my closet. It was like fucking Christmas up in here. Okay, that's fine, but I just have one question and then a word of caution. Have you ever seen a movie called Little Monsters starring Howie Mandel and Fred Savage? But the seal on the bottle is broken. Are you suggesting someone put piss in my apple juice at the factory? All I'm saying is, don't you think that Monster Howie Mandel has the power to do something as simple as reseal a bottle? Try using your brain, numbnuts. Why did the fat kid or whoever drank it know what piss tasted like? I mean, his reaction was nigh instantaneous. It was the 15th day in a row Howie Mandel peed in his juice. Okay, I can accept that. Monster B-list celebrity douchebags are cunning and persistent pranksters. Also, Fred Savage has a really punchable face. But who cares about this? Let's stop talking about it. Did you get the beta yet? No. Did you? Oh, yeah. It was a really exciting scene for voice acting. I used to be part of a few projects with such a lovely community. Yeah, no, it's really funny because sometimes, like, a couple of years ago when I would, like, be talking about like, you know, whether I wanted to do voice acting, I was like, well, you know, I was into Homestuck. We all wanted to do voice acting. We all wanted to be voice actors. And now I am an actual voice actor. And also it's really funny because I had a friend at summer camp who also was in the Homestuck fandom and also did, like, Homestuck voice acting stuff. And he still voice acts. He still does that. So, yeah, that's, like, I don't know, it's really cool. It was not just, like, a fleeting thing, a fleeting passing interest as young teenagers. It is, like, actually a thing. I forgot the first Pastor Log's about piss. Yeah! I guess I'll be putting that in the content warning. Content warning. Piss mention. They talk about their 13-year-olds and they're talking about piss. Happens. Did you get the beta yet? No. Did you? Man, I got 2 copies already. I don't care. I'm not gonna play it or anything. The game sounds boring. Did you see how I got slammed in Game Bro? Game Bro is a joke and we both know it. Yeah. Why don't you go check your mail? Maybe it's there now. Alright. John, look out window. Oh, also, by the way, since I only have one monitor and I'm looking at Homestuck, and that covers most of my screen, I am reading the chat on my phone. So if I look down, that's why. Okay, so anyway, John's looking at his window. You see the view of your yard from your window. Hanging from the tree is your tire swing. In a kid's yard, a tree without a tire swing is like a proper gentleman without a monocle. That is to say, he can hardly be considered a terribly proper gentleman at all. And there beside your driveway is the mailbox. Excuse me. John, examine mailbox. Again, his cute little smile. It's just adorable. Look at him. Look at this little face. He's so happy. the little red arm swingy dealy thing, or whatever it is called, is flipped up. What the hell is that thing called anyway? You do not have time for these semantics. The red flippy lever thing means you have new mail, and that means the beta might be here. John, go outside and check mailbox. You are about to hurry down the stairs when you hear a car pull into the driveway. Looks like your dad has returned from the grocery store. Oh great, he is beating you to the mail. John, forget it. Check mail later. If you go downstairs to get it, he will likely monopolize hours of your time. You decide to chill out up here for a while until the dust settles. Sometimes you feel like you are trapped in this room. Stuck, if you will, in a sense which possibly borders on the titular. And now your chum is pestering you again. The clockwork of friendship turns ceaselessly, operating the swing leather dealies of harassment in perpetuity. Whatever, the dude can just hold his damn horses. John, examine games on CD rack. You've put countless man-hours into this assortment of quality titles that you can't see because it's not loading. Hold up. Ah, there we go. It's loading. Ah. So you've got the CD rack. You've got some glowing things. You've got Bard Quest, which is one of the MS Paint adventures. The Caper Havers, which I think is another comic that Andrew Hussey made. Problem Sleuth, which was previously mentioned, is the last one. And It Don't Stop, which is definitely I think these are all things that Andrew Hussey made. Because this is definitely a comic that he made that I have read. I don't remember it super well. It's about robots that rap, I think. And there's other references to it in Homestuck as well, but nothing major. And a pumpkin with a question mark. What pumpkin? Which is... Oh, that's just Jailbreak. Okay. And Ghostbusters 2 MMORPG. Now it's not. This is not a anything made by Andrew Hussey. Kate said, isn't the flippy arm lever thing for when you put mail in there and you want the mail person to know? And Ethan said, John doesn't know that, and neither did Andrew Hussey when writing this. Yes, this is a thing that has been pointed out by people in the past. Yeah. Little Monsters, the video game, I guess, it's a Nintendo game. And Harry Anderson, Call My Bluff. So yeah, so the things over here are all Hussey things, and the things over here are all not that. Assortment of quality titles. Anyway, John, read Colonel Sassacre's daunting text. Colonel Sassacre's daunting text of magical frivolity and practical japery. You decide to consult with the Colonel's bottomless wisdom. Good grief, this thing is huge. Could kill a cat with this thing. Or could kill a cat if you dropped it. But to really dig into this hefty book, you will have to capture log it. You are not sure you are ready to logjam your other artifacts beneath it just yet. John, capture log fake arms again. What did you just say? You didn't want to clog up your... Oh, Jesus. In a momentary lapse of concentration, you accidentally capture log the arms again. John, set Pester Trump status to bully. You don't think the situation is quite dire enough to go all the way to rancorous, but you feel like the Pester Trump client should reflect your mood change in some way. Bully will have to do, you guess. This, unsurprisingly, does nothing whatsoever. Also, I think I remember hearing that Andrew Hussey initially meant for, like, something to actually, at some point someone switch over to rancorous and it actually, like, does something. This never happens. Oh, right, you forgot your chum is still pestering you. John, answer chum. Is it there? Please say yes. Maybe you can play with TT. She's been pestering me all day about it. She's macking on me so hard all the time, I start to feel embarrassed for her. I mean, not that I can blame her or anything. Yes, it is understandable because you are really attractive. I am attracted to you. Thank you. JK. No, I don't have it yet. My dad has the mail, and I guess I have to go get it from him and see if it's there. And I've been busy spending all afternoon shitting around with my stupid Silodex. So frustrating. What's your modus? What? How do you retrieve artifacts from it? Oh, like, one at a time, I guess? And if I put too much in, something falls out. Stack? What is yours? Hash map. My bro taught me a few tricks. He basically knows everything and is awesome. What the hell is that? You should probably brush up on your data structures. I guess. Did you at least allocate your strife specibus? Specibus? Specibus. Specibus, yes. No. Could free up a card for you. Plus, let you attack stuff whenever things get too hot to handle. Which is never. What have you got? Well, I've got a hammer, but it's trapped under some arms. Wow, you really suck at this, don't you? Just get rid of the arm and then allocate the hammer to the specibus. How? I don't know, just use the arms on any old thing and see if it works. John, combine fake arms with cake. You stick the fake arms in the cake on your bed. This definitely makes the cake at least 300% more hilarious. You're sure Colonel Sasker would know the precise index of elevated hilarity. John, allocate hammer to strife specibus. And you've got a kind abstratus. It says you check the back of your strife specibus for the kind abstratus you have in mind for it. So you see, in addition to hammer kind, we've got broom kind, poker kind, ice pick kind, golf club kind, jump rope kind? Something rope kind. I don't know. Shovel kind, probably. Not sure about that. Spoon kind, statue kind, spatula kind. I don't know. Is that a word? Oh, screwdriver kind. Okay. I get it. They had to take out some vowels so it would fit. No. John Dave can and when. Many people have asked this. I was actually extremely anti-John Dave, to an annoying degree when I was younger. But to be fair, people were annoying about John Dave. Because John Egbert is famously, quote, not a homosexual, unquote. Dave... John, select hammer. Your strife specibus has been allocated with the hammer kind abstratus. The hammer has been moved from your capture log deck to your strife deck. John, report progress to TG. Okay, I did it. Hammer kind? Yeah. Okay, that will be the permanent allocation for your specibus. I guess I should have mentioned that. Hope you like hammers, dude. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. I can't imagine it's going to be all that relevant. With a big wink to the audience. It's a very what could possibly go wrong kind of statement. I can't imagine it'll be all that relevant. I have just put a gun on the wall. I'm sure this will not be used by the third act of the play. Also, my name is Anton Chekhov. John, Capsulog Colonel's Big Book. Now that you've got some space in your Silodex to work with, you figure you might as well start squandering it immediately. Ordinarily, this ridiculous book would be way too heavy to carry around in any practical way. You guess maybe this is one respect in which the cards present some convenience. John, examine Game Bro magazine. Wow, real homophobic of you. I mean, like... yeah, kind of. I wasn't homophobic, but I was, like, very annoyed by the way other people did shipping in a way that may have presented itself as homophobic. I don't know. I had very strong feelings about shipping, but mostly in the negative sense. Back in the day, back in, like, middle school. I'm normal about shipping now. Examine Game Bro magazine. Game Bro. Spurb. why the game of the year or whatever isn't as good as some other stuff that I like better. John, read article. So I'm going to actually read this article because it's great. So, okay. Spurb is this game that a lot of cats seem hella pumped of. And this beta is sitting on my desk for review, so I'm like, yeah, man, I'll write something. But I don't know. I'm like, so this is about houses or some noise? That's fine. I'm sure it's like fucking dynamite in a handbag for some brosifs. But all I'm saying is, when you get to thrash anything, while you're playing house or some shit, are you ever in jeopardy of getting mud on your doll's dress or whatever from busting out, and I quote, the mad stunts and wicked up-ins? Quote from whom? Who knows? Know what I'm saying, bro, Yoma? I didn't actually play this game, but I gave it 1.5 out of 5 hats to keep it real. At this point, I'd like to give a shout out to my boy Dennis, who was over the other day. We were going to chill in front of the Dark Knight, and he was so psyched of it, y'all. So this one time, he was leaning against the screen door, and the ship popped open, and the back deck was wet, and he slipped down the steps and broke his thumb on the lawn. It wasn't a long fall, but hey, I guess a thumb bone wasn't made for supporting the brunt of a huge useless tool against wet grass. We never did watch Dark Knight on account of Ron trucking his bawling candy-ass skirt to the hospital. But it's cool. I still got another watch in me, Brotel Rwanda. Bro notes. Tennis was so wasted. I mean, damn. Rating for Spurp. 1.5 out of 5 hats. To keep it real, you know. John. Capture log game, bro. Also, I will say I think that's probably the best voice acting I'm ever going to do in my life. But, you know, moving on. It might come in handy if you ever need something that burns easily. John. Capture log magician's hat. You expend your final card on the magician's hat. John. Get funny glasses, too. You don't have a free card in your Zillidex. However, you are able to merge the Beaglepus with the magician's hat to create a clever disguise. You know? Clever disguise. Wow. John, wear disguise to fool Dad. John? Who is this John you speak of? You are quite certain there has never been, nor ever will be... Yeah, this is a really shitty disguise. While you are wearing the items, they remain on the card, but it is temporarily removed from the deck, thus freeing up the cards beneath it. John, leave room. You exit into the hallway. Oh, and there's that picture that we just saw. I forgot about that. I forgot that they linked to that picture and then just had it as something that was on the wall of John's house. You exit into the hallway. On one wall hangs a picture of a fella who sure knows how to have a laugh, a man after your own heart. You always thought he looked a lot like Michael Cera. I mean, yeah, kinda. But your dad swears on the many hallowed tombs of Egypt that it is not. You're not sure about that, though. On the other wall is one of your dad's stupid clowns, or harlequins, as he is quick to correct anyone who would venture such brazen assumptions. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. But look at this guy. He's so colorful. Anyway, John, go downstairs. The accursed odor of fresh baking wafts into your newfound nostrils. Something is brewing in the kitchen. It must be the connivings of your arch-nemesis, Betty Crocker. This is just a link to the Wikipedia page for Betty Crocker, in case you didn't know who Betty Crocker was. And the rich, buttery aroma of her plot stinks to high heaven. This mission is going to be more difficult than you imagined. John, admire harlequins. You check out the shelves of fanciful harlequins. Look at this fucking garbage. You hate this stuff. Funny is funny, but your dad sure could be a real cornball. Sometimes at night you pray for burglars. It's mean. It's mean of you, John. Ooh. Storm of ruin. You hear that? There's thunder. I mean, like, in real life, not on the screen. Or, I mean, I guess on the screen for you, because I'm on your screen. But I mean in my real environment. Anyway, John's examining the fireplace. Let's look at that. Bright orange flame flickers in the fireplace. Doesn't matter that it's April and not terribly chilly outside. In a home, a fireplace needs a fire, because that's what a fireplace is for. A fire belongs in a fireplace, damn it. Categorically, at all times, without exception. That sounds like a really nice way to burn down your house. As domestic myth of unaccountable origin holds, a home borrows the spirit of the flame for as long as it makes a guest of it, much as the moon takes liberty with the sun's rays. The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun. Mark Twain. You are almost certain Mark Twain said that. See? Literature! Real actual quote from Mark Twain. That's definitely from Mark Twain and not anyone else. John, toss Game Bro into the fire. It doesn't burn as quickly as you hoped. Each Game Bro magazine is guaranteed to be printed on 40% recycled asbestos. For big ups to Mother Earth, yo. John, fondly regard cremation. This is... See, one of the reasons why I brought up the other MS Paint adventures is that there are a lot of references to them in Homestuck, and you don't have to have read them to enjoy Homestuck. In fact, I've read some of Problem Sleuth, and that's about it. But fondly regard creation was like a big panel in Problem Sleuth, and so fondly regard cremation, like fondly regard blank, often things that end in ation is like a thing. So anyway, fondly regard cremation. You examine the sacred urn containing your departed Nana's ashes. And your father gives her portrait a wistful glance now and then. You can tell it brings back painful memories. A tall bookshelf, a ladder, an unabridged Colonel Sassacres. He never wants to talk about it. John, topple urn. You clumsily mishandle the sacred urn. Ash is everywhere. In retrospect, upon mulling cinematic tropes regarding ash-filled urns, this outcome was a virtual certainty. You'd probably better clean it up before Dad finds it. So, okay, another content warning. Mishandling of human remains. John, combine father's pipe with clever disguise. You think now would be a good time to beef up your clever disguise. John, examine oversized gift. Champ, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. I believe in you. Contemplating what could be inside this package is sort of exciting, but makes you a little nervous at the same time. John, open large present. Oh, hell no. That's just a little guy. It's just a funky little guy. John, capture log ashes. First, you prop the Harlequin doll up on the couch. Having it in the middle of the floor sprawled out all akimbo like that just struck you as unseemly. You capture the ashes to your available card. John, combine ashes with urn. You merge the sacred urn with the ashes. Most of the ash is back in the urn, but it's a total mess. Really, it probably would have been tighter if you just used a broom and dustpan. John, put urn back. No one will be the wiser. Except maybe for people with eyes. John, go get fake arms again. You just got another brilliant idea for something to do with those pointless arms. You pry them out of the cake and capsulog them. Looks like Pester Chum's acting up again. John, examine third and fourth walls of room. There they are. It's John's room. He likes movies. John, check Pester Chum. Another one of your chums is messaging you. Let me take a sip of water before I get to this conversation. John, check message. I understand you have recently come into possession of the beta release of the Game of the Year as featured in respectable periodicals such as Game Bro magazine. That's an ugly rumor. Whoever told you that is a filthy liar, and you should probably stop hitting on him all the time or whatever. I can't control myself. I must have a weakness for insufferable pricks. Anyway, I still haven't checked the mail. My dad has it. I'm trying to get it from him, so BRB. John? What? You're wearing one of your disguises now, aren't you? You are typing to me right now while wearing something ridiculous. No, why would you even think that? That's so stupid. Okay. Why don't you go get the game from your father? Alright, wish me luck. Oh, by the way, JK, I was wearing a funny disguise this whole time. Gotcha! I know, John. John, go back downstairs. You can now execute that brilliant idea you had. There should be just enough frosting on the fake arms to serve as an adequate adhesive. John, attach arms to doll. You don't care what Colonel Sassacre says? That makes it at least 1,000,000% funnier. John, inspect burnt paper on the floor. Problerone advertisement. You put this back in the fire where it belongs. John, throw present wrap in fire. As long as you're cleaning up. John, capture log doll. You can carry hefty items, but that thing is just way too big. Get real. Besides, you don't even want it. John, read Colonel Sassacre's text. Okay, I'm gonna ask, hey chat, should I actually read this out loud? I don't know, usually, I've, read Act 1 a few times, I usually just skip over this. Someone else tell me if I should read it or not. I will wait. While I'm waiting, I'm just gonna check Twitter. Because I have some notifications that I haven't. Okay, I'm just gonna read it, I guess. I don't know. I guess no one cares. Which, rude of you, but whatever. So, the creepy crawlies. Hell's bells, we are having a mighty sporting time of it. Hold fast, my intrepid fellow pranksmiths. We've merely nicked the mahogany of our japing chests. If I may direct the incisive ogle of your beagle puss to the wriggling regency of rubber bugs, plastic parasites, squirming serpents, pliable pests, and every such order of and phyla of creepy crawlies. Also, this is really hard for me to read. It's very small. Land sakes alive, we are cooking with petrol now. In further exhibits, we shall dwell on artifice used to your exploits. Is your pappy's rod a real handy? Rod and reel handy? What about a bit of iron cord? It shouldn't prove elusive. Bring those writhing rascals to life, and set the nerves of some old maid to the wreck of Hesperus. Do you have a bothersome aunt who never seems troubled to find ways with your sunny afternoons? A broad, splintery fence? A bucket of whitewash, perhaps? My gum, you'll fix her wagon. And what of that tawny gent who puts his lackadaisical lean near the sarsaparilla font? You'll have that listless roustabout find the spring in his step just yet. Yay. That was fun. A little difficult to read. You thought about consulting this text to fuck. Sorry, I have a a ring light that is on my bed instead of on a flat surface because I'm kind of a dipshit. What if I just hold this the whole time? Or wait. No. Also, I'm just seeing the messages about the delay now. Well, whatever. I got a yes, and I did it, so... Fuck. Good. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna not have the ring light for the rest of this. Whatever, you can see my face. It's just slightly more shadowy. Whatever. This webcam quality is such shit that, like, the lighting doesn't really matter. Anyway, you thought about consulting the text to determine exactly how hilarious the doll is now, but this text is way too big to navigate in a timely fashion. You decide to forget it. John, find Dad and retrieve mail. The door on the left leads to the kitchen, from which the smell of baking wafts, a powerful aroma which could lift an especially portly hobo off his feet. The door on the right leads to the study, where your dad spends a lot of time. He could be in either room. Where will you go? John, go in the study. It doesn't look like he's in here right now. So there's Dad's study. John, examine Father's desk. On the desk is a deck of playing cards, one of your dad's pipes, the April issue of the Serious Jester magazine, and a stray captcha card. There's also a can of peanuts on the desk. Ha ha. Oh, Dad. You won't be falling for that one again anytime soon. A severe peanut allergy is a terrible affliction to cope with. Which, as someone with many allergies, peanut not amongst them, but, you know, there's a lot of other ones, including tree nuts. I can relate. John, upgrade costume with the hat from Hat Rack. You swap the magician's hat with the bowler hat. This disguise is somewhat less funny, but a lot more distinguished looking. I do have a bowler hat. Oh, wait, no, it's downstairs. Never mind. I was wearing it the other day. John, combine second pipe with clever disguise. I don't, however, have a beagle puss. I definitely have had at some point, but not at the moment. And I've never had a pipe. Perhaps at some point in my childhood I had some bubble pipe thing. No, I would remember that. I would have loved to have fun little bubble pipe. Definitely never had one of those. I would have remembered a bubble pipe. Anyway, Homestuck. John, combine second pipe with clever disguise. Your dad maintains numerous pipes around the household. A father without a pipe is like a strapping roughneck without a toothpick. That is to say, he is rather a piss-poor excuse for a roughneck if you ask me. You'd rather not take the pipe, though. The first one tastes bad enough as it is. How you suffer for your comedy. John, examine captcha log card. Yes! This will be perfect for expanding the space in your Scylla... Ah! S. John, play haunting piano refrain. Okay, someone please tell me how the sound is on this. Let's just listen. I'm not doing a lot of talking because it's just very pretty. Alright, here we go. Yeah, so hopefully someone, obviously there's Yeah, oh god, I'm looking at the stream on my phone. We're still, like, a page behind. But, you know, I trust that that at least one of you will tell me how the sound is, and that will be useful in future sound things. John, play 52 pickup. I just realized I forgot to read the title of this one. You play the prankster's favorite card game even though you are alone in the room, thus rendering it an especially foolish version of solitaire. Yes, lovely little song. It's called Showtime, by the way, the little piano refrain. So stupid. Look at this mess. The peanut gallery over there is sure getting a kick out of it. You are allergic to their scorn. Ah yes, the Joker, one of my favorite harlequins. John, attempt to leave the house. Yeah, the music of Homestuck is one of the best parts. You know, Homestuck music, like, absolutely still slaps. It's like, you know, I haven't reread Homestuck in a while, but I have re-listened to some of the music, and I'm like, god damn, that fucks. Yeah, in fact, for one of the songs in Rogue Maker, actually, I think specifically one of the songs in the Rogue Maker trailer, Emily, who is our composer, gave a demo and wanted it to be a little different. I'm like, yeah, it needs to be a bit more intense. And then I'm just like, make it have the vibe of these, like, 10 seconds of this Homestuck song. Also, here's another Homestuck song that has got good and kind of similar vibes. Yeah. Which is kind of the same thing I did when I did music, when I did sound design in college, which is panic until the last second, or not panic, but put it off to the last second, then panic, and then just choose Homestuck music for things. Because, you know, it's just a big library of instrumental music. Although, granted, it's more limited in scope than I had anticipated it being when I took that class. But, anyway, John, attempt to leave the house. And then we've got a commercial for High-C Ecto Cooler. You go back into the living room and contemplate checking the mailbox outside. You think perhaps you should exhaust all possibilities before plunging headlong into a dad encounter. Your television is currently airing a commercial. John, exit. You exit the house. Okay, John is no longer stuck in the home, so that's it. Thank you all for coming. That's the end of the streams. Forever. Bye. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, I'm wondering if I should end today's stream here, but I think I'll go a little farther. I don't know. I'm, like, still trying to feel out how long I want these things to be. But, you know, I'm not hungry yet, so I'm just gonna keep going until it feels right. John, check mail. Predictably, the mailbox is empty. You have already been scooped by your father. There's another S. Oh. The streets are empty. Wind skims the voids, keeping neighbors apart, as if grazing the hollow of a cut reed, or, say, a plundered mailbox. A familiar note is produced. It's the one desolation plays to keep its instrument in tune. It is your 13th birthday, and as with all 12 preceding it, something else feels missing from your life. Something feels missing from your life. The game presently eluding you is only the latest sleight of hand in the repertoire of an unseen Riddler, one to engender a sense not of mirth, but of lack. His coarse schemes are those less of a prankster than a common pickpocket. His riddle is absence itself. It is a mystery dispersing altogether, like the moon's faint reflection, with even one pebble of inquiry dropped in its black well. It is the most diabolical riddle of all. Absence diminishes little passions and increases great ones, as wind extinguishes candles and fans a fire. Walt Whitman. Yes, you are certain Walt Whitman said that. 100% certain. You have a feeling it's going to be a long day. Honestly, part of me feels like this would be a good place to end. Like, it's the title card. Ba-ba-ba, it's Homestuck. Also, Kate said read all of Act 1 for legal purposes. This is a joke. Part of me almost wants to do that, because Act 1 isn't that long, but I think it's still kind of long for what we're doing. I don't know. I don't really have a great sense of how long Act 1 is, but it's still definitely... We've still got a bit, I think. So... I don't know. How are y'all feeling? Because I feel like I could do a little more, but if people are getting bored, then I'll stop. Once again, I'll wait, which I'll wait longer now because I now know that it takes a while. And we will continue to listen to the gentle tinkles of the wind chimes. I should probably say things to fill space. I don't know. It's Homestuck. This page is an interesting one because it's like it just randomly goes into like a wildly different style than the rest of it. And it's like, it appears a lot more serious, but like the seriousness itself and like the poeticness of it, the poetry of it, is in and of itself a joke. Like, it is very pretty and poetic, like, genuinely and actually, but it's definitely, like, being tongue-in-cheek about it. Which is honestly just a lot of how Homestuck operates, because I feel like even when Homestuck is serious, it's being jokingly serious. Like, and even when Homestuck makes you feel things, it's kind of like, the joke is that you actually feel things, you know? Like, it's... You know, just layers of irony, man. But I don't know. It's japeries all the way down. I think either here, end of Act 1, Act 2 starts on page like 248, I believe, so it's still a ways away. Wait, what page are we on? 82. Yeah, it's still a ways away. I think... Yeah, this is a good place to stop. I think I'm done for the night. And then tomorrow or not tomorrow. I'm not doing this again tomorrow probably. Next time probably I'll get to the end of Act 1. But yeah. I'm gonna no, that's not OBS. Close that down. And then go back to here. So you can see the face. We could talk a little bit more. Now that we're done for the day. I don't know when I'm gonna do the next stream. I don't know if I want to do this multiple times a week or not. I mean, like, I have time this week. But, you know, I don't know when I'm not at a point where I have a very, strong knowledge of my future, like, schedule. But, I mean, Mondays at 5 p.m. feels good. Like, that feels like a reasonable time. I don't know. But, you know, keep your eyes peeled for later this week. I might consider doing another one. at some other point this week. But if not, at the very least, I'll probably see you next week. And, keep an eye on my Twitter. I'm at CorvidCastle12 on Twitter. Though I think everyone who's currently watching probably already follows me. And I also will probably continue to, post in, various Discord servers and shit, when I'm doing these. But yeah. Yeah, so follow me on Twitter if you're not already. And again, the VOD is going to be up. I mean, it's up right now on Twitch, and will be up on YouTube as soon as I figure out how to do that, which probably is really easy. I hope it's really easy. And then I'm gonna have to, well, actually no, it's not as soon as I figure out what it is. It's as soon as I write down what all the content warnings for today's are, because there were a few. I thought there weren't going to be any, because, the beginning of Homestuck, not that much actually happens. It's, it's a lot of John shitting around with his Silodex, and, John and Dave talking about piss. Thanks for coming, Kate, and thank you all for coming. It's nice to have folks to talk to while doing this. And yeah, and y'all are cool people. Yeah. But yeah, no. Next time I think things will actually start to, pick up a little bit plot-wise. Homestuck's a little bit of a slow burn, with the plot. I know a lot of people say, oh, the, beginning of Homestuck isn't good, or, it's or whatever, and, you should, and some people will even, skip to Act 5, or skip to Act 4, or whatever, or just skip Act 1. And Act 1 is, I don't think it's bad. I think it's just a very different pacing and tone than a lot of the rest of it. I mean, to a degree, it sets the tone, but it's very different pacing. But there's a lot of humor, and a lot of just funny, good, silly, it's just a lot of, fun and silly stuff before, anything real actually happens. Yeah, it's just a little bit of fun. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I feel like it's good to do, this sort of thing, because then we get to, talk and have fun with it, because that's kind of what it was originally. It was people, had these suggestions, and they were like, what if he squawks like an imbecile and shits on his desk? And then, and it's, this back and forth between the, creator, between Andrew Hussey and the readers. And so, and between, the readers and each other. And so I like being able to have a little back and forth with you. And so yeah,